In this video, I'm going to talk about starting and stopping. Now, it's very common when you're trying to achieve something. You get really excited in the beginning, you're all hyped up, you're motivated, and then something happens, and eventually, you fall off the wagon and you stop and you feel like, damn it, I stopped again, I failed, I better start something else. Let me just move on to the next thing. Maybe I'll do better the next time. So we get in this cycle of starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and we never stay consistently on one path long enough to actually see it through and see any benefit from it. Napoleon Hill, author of many books, but one of the more famous ones, Think and Grow Rich, said that humans are great starters but terrible finishers. And I've definitely found that to be true. I'm prone to it just like anybody else, but I've noticed that a lot of people tend to be really good at starting something, a new exercise plan or starting some new hobby. But when things get a little difficult or maybe life gets in the way, they stop it, totally put it aside. And then when they feel guilty about stopping it, they start something totally different. And basically the cycle goes all over again. So you've never really made much progress in any one thing. You've just, it's kind of like when you first learn to drive, you're like, gas brake, gas brake, gas brake. And you're just like stuttering down the parking lot. Now that's obviously annoying, and it obviously also does not get you to where you want to be. You still stick with driving, and eventually you learn to move fluidly and not be like start, stop, start, stop. But we don't really learn that skill in life in other ways. We get too comfortable with starting something and then quitting for whatever reason. And this doesn't mean that everything somebody starts, you should just like stick with it for the rest of your life, because sometimes we start stupid things or we start things that aren't going to work out. So it's good to be aware of realizing when we've started something and maybe it's not in our best interest to continue. But more often than not, we start something and then we just quit and drop it all together at the first sign of defeat, or even the first sign of having some minor inconvenience or roadblock. And so this was also talked about in a book called Mindset, written by Susan Cain, I believe. No, Carol Dweck. And she talked about a growth and a fixed mindset. People that have a fixed mindset tend to, start something, and if they feel like they're not good at it right away, they quit and they move on to something else. And we can all be prone to that type of thinking. As soon as something becomes a little difficult, it's very easy to say like, this isn't for me, or this isn't right, it's not the right time, let me move on to something else. But it's been shown over and over that to achieve anything great, you have to be consistent, and especially you have to push through those periods of discomfort or setbacks or whatever it is. And that's what's going to help you reach your ultimate goal, especially if you have a big long-term goal like say getting in shape or whatever. You have to be able to push through all those times where you're not going to feel like it or you're going to have setbacks. So just take that into account next time you try to start something, you want to achieve something. Go into the project knowing that there's going to be failure and that there's going to be doubt and setbacks, and prepare for it, mentally prepare for it, and just say no matter what, you're going to keep going, you're going to stick through it, and that will foster a much more resilient mindset that I think we can all benefit from. So that's all I got for this video. I will see you in the next one.